Hey everyone, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to talk about the death of former Ohio State player Donovan Munger, dead at the age of 30. Munger was a member of the 2014 Ohio State team that won the national championship. And of course, just last month, on January 20th, Ohio State again won the national championship. Now, yesterday, I did a video on the death of a UNLV lineman named Ben Christman. Down in the description below, you'll find a link to that video, as well as the playlist I have for riddles connected to John Madden, as this story was all synced up with Madden and his one Super Bowl victory in Super Bowl 11. Now, what I did not mention in my story yesterday was that Ben Christman, prior to playing for UNLV, played for Ohio State University. Now, Christman, as I mentioned in the video, died at a span of exactly 22 years old on a 22 date as a member of the UNLV Runnin' Rebels, which equals 22. This a significant number of football, and the Brotherhood of Death, as, again, we'll be discussing the Skull and Bones code in this video. But in lieu of all those 22s, what I did not point out, because, I don't actually always catch everything. In fact, I frequently miss stuff. Christman died 22 days after Ohio State won the national championship. So tack another 22 onto the decode from yesterday. Well, then I woke up this morning and saw a news story that another former Ohio State player died. This man was reportedly forced to retire due to blood clot issues, which I can only assume had something to do with his death. But, of course, all that would just be speculation. So, in this video, we're going to, again, explain how this story is connected to Ohio State, and also John Madden, the legendary face of the NFL who passed away in 2021, and the one Super Bowl that Madden led the Raiders to, Super Bowl 11 in 1977. That game, played in 77, Madden's only Super Bowl championship, kicked off at 12:47 p.m. local time. This game played on the West Coast in Pasadena. Well, 12:47 is a number connected to Donovan Munger in Latin Gematria, which, as I consistently claim, is the most significant method in the study. And here we see Donovan Munger with this 12:47 value, matching the kickoff time of that game. However, in standard English Gematria, which is a cipher built off of the same numeric structure as Latin, the name Donovan Munger equals 1117. When Munger won the national championship with Ohio State, it was 11 months and 17 days after his birthday. The number 1117 is a very special one in numerology because it's really the only number with this quality. Not only is it the 187th prime number, but 187 is also 11 times 17. This is a very unique relationship in numerology. Well, 187 is the ordinal value of Brotherhood of Death, which is, of course, the primary nickname of the Skull and Bones Society. Ohio State University was founded in the year 1870. But check out the establishment date of Ohio State University, March 22nd, or 322. 322, the big number on the Skull and Bones emblem. So it stands to reason that this is all synced up to Skull and Bones. And just think about it. Kreisman died one day before he turned 22. Donovan Munger died at the age of 30. So we have the digits 22 and 30, or 223 and 322. Remember Benjamin Paul Kreisman, which was this man's full name, has Gematria of 223, and he was born on the date leaving 322 days in the year. Well, when Benjamin died, Donovan Munger was 30 years, 2 weeks, and 2 days old. Measuring from Super Bowl 11 to the birth of these two football players, we find that Donovan Munger was born 223 lunar phases after that game, while Ben Kreisman was born 322 lunar phases after the game. Now remember, of course, skull and crossbones equals 223 in the alphabetic order. Back in 2023, Yale, of course, turned 322 years old, cementing the connection between these two three-digit numbers. Measuring from that special anniversary to Donovan Munger's death was 16 months and 11 days. Using square numbers, Buckeyes equals 1611. Buckeyes, the nickname of the Ohio State University. This also reflects John Madden's age for Donovan's passing. Notice how John Madden would have been 1,066 months and 11 days when Donovan died. In fact, the year 1611 is when the King James Version of the Bible was published. And here we're talking about a story connected to a man named Kreisman. And the New Testament of the Bible is important to the numerology of this story, as we will see. I thought of another 223 to mention here, but for some reason it slipped my mind. Maybe I'll come back to it. When Ben Kreisman died a couple weeks ago, it was exactly 163 weeks after John Madden died. In the alphabetic order, Donovan Munger equals 163. This is the 38th prime number, which, as we've become accustomed to by now, is heavily synced to stories about death. Death, killing, murder, RIP, all 38. A number represented in the Murder by Numbers poster, as a matter of fact. In Hebrew reduction, Jesus the Messiah sums to 38. And more on the Jesus code in a little bit, but in biblical symbolism, Jesus is often associated with Mercury. And Mercury was extremely important to the death of John Madden. Madden died on 12/28, which is the standard value of Mercury. And his death was 103 days before his 86th birthday, which falls on 4/10. So virtually all of the digits in Mercury were coded into Madden's death. Now we get the death of a man from Cleveland, Donovan Munger, born in Cleveland, which equals 798. This is the same value as Mercury in the same cipher. Ohio State Buckeyes, 798 in Satanic. And the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, 798. Ben Kreisman, after playing for Ohio State University, died while playing for the University of Las Vegas. This 798 is very similar to 786, which is the Sumerian value of Ohio State in reverse. Donovan Munger was born exactly 786 sidereal months, or lunar orbits, after John Madden. Excuse me. Still got a little cough going today. Weather's starting to get warmer, so I think I'll be 100% in no time. But next up, I want to talk about this New Testament riddle that's important to this. Now, if you look up the number of times that Jesus is mentioned in the New Testament online, you're going to get a couple different numbers. And one of these numbers I've seen is 983. However, when I personally went through the New Testament of the King James Bible, I counted 984. And then I counted again, and I found 984 once more. And yes, I actually loaded the file and I hit enter 984 times to find the word Jesus in the New Testament. But whether it's 983 or 984, check out Donovan Munger's age when he died. 10,983, or a span of 10,984 days old. In reduction gematria, New Testament has a value of 42. The word new also equals 42. And the New Testament begins by detailing the 42 generations to Jesus. When Donovan Munger helped Ohio State win the national championship after the 2014 season, they scored 42 points to win that game. Donovan Munger was born exactly 420 weeks before Ben Christman. And when he died, Donovan was exactly 402 sidereal months old. His death also fell 42 sidereal months after John Madden died, and 42 days after the anniversary of Super Bowl XI. Fellow Ohio State Buckeye Ben Christman, by the way, died on the 42nd day of the year. This all connects to Buckeyes, which has gematria of the 42nd prime number using capital letters. Yale University is home to the Skull and Bones Society. And if you measure from Yale's founding date to the death of Donovan Munger, look at this intriguing measurement: 118,108 days. Within this measurement, we get the digits 1818. In Sumerian gematria, which is the alphabetic order multiplied by 6, the phrases crucifixion of Jesus Christ and Lord and Savior Jesus Christ both equal 1818. Donovan Munger was born a span of 18 years and 18 days after Super Bowl XI. And then Ben Christman was born 8 years and 18 days later. On the date Donovan passed away, John Madden would have been exactly 1,188 sidereal months old. In the reverse alphabetic order, the name Donovan Munger sums to these same digits, 188. In ordinal, Jesus of Nazareth provides another 188. Earlier, we looked at the Hebrew reduction value of Jesus Christ. In standard Hebrew gematria, the name Jesus equals 316, and consider how John 3:16 is a verse that's essentially synonymous with the return of Jesus. You know, the book of John, we're talking about a guy named John Madden. Of course, a different John wrote the book of Revelation, which we'll talk about in a little bit. When Ben Kreisman died on February 11th, Donovan Munger was 30 years and 16 days old. He would later die 316 days after John Madden's birthday. The number 1316 is also undeniably linked to the code of Jesus. Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahweh, return of Jesus. All of these phrases here sum to 1316. So as I mentioned in my video on Ben Kreisman, he died on the date leaving 323 days in the year. Yale University is currently 323 years old. And lately we've seen news of Pope Francis being in critical condition. Catholicism equals 323. Donovan Munger was 323 months old when John Madden died. And his own death fell 323 days before the anniversary of Super Bowl XI. Las Vegas, Nevada, 323. Also, 1141. Remember, that was the number of days between Madden's and Kreisman's deaths. Well, Madden and Munger, meanwhile, died 1150 days apart. The word killing has double gematria of 115. And this is another number important to the connection between Skull and Bones and Las Vegas, Nevada. 1105, both of these phrases. Skull and Bones Society 115, like Masonic, Raiders, and Oakland, which was the home of the Raiders for a very long time. You know, in addition to Ohio State being founded on this big Skull and Bones date, also notice how this was 154 years ago. Ritual sacrifice 154. If you measure from the date of the 2014 title game that Donovan Munger was in to the date of his death, it was 10 years, 5 weeks, and 4 days for another 154. Wow, this is also 527 weeks. And Skull and Bones has the 527. But what I was going to point out with Ohio State is you type out Ohio State University and you don't really get any numbers connected to Skull and Bones. But have you ever heard a player say he was from Ohio State? They don't say, I went to Ohio State. They say, I went to the Ohio State University. And this does give us a 109, which is similar to Yale's founding date, 10-9. I don't know if this is a coincidence, but seems interesting nonetheless. But what I always noticed about Ohio State is the fact that the school's logo is the letter O, and the letter O is, of course, a circle. In multiple methods of gematria, the letter O is worth 50. And this is the ordinal value of the word circle. Circle equals 50. And circle has a lot of matching numbers with Ohio State. 50, 40, and 112. Ohio State also with these same three values. Well, the mathematics of the circle are resolved with pi, or 3.14, and Donovan Munger died on the date leaving 314 days on the calendar. When it comes to the circle, we know that the number 666 is very significant. 666 sums to 294 in multiple methods. You can write out 666 or 603 score and 6. Well, Donovan Munger and Ben Kreisman, these two OSU players who died, were born a span of 2,940 days apart. Kreisman died 294 sidereal months after he died. The number 666 is revealed as the number of the beast in the 229th verse of Revelation. Donovan Munger died 22 years and 9 days after Kreisman was born. However, this measurement is also 8,044 days. And 844 is the standard gematria of Revelation in Hebrew. Revelation written by John of Patmos. It's just clear as day. What's going on with these numbers, isn't it? There was something else I wanted to point out here, and it had to do with Cleveland. The city of Cleveland has gematria of 33 and 48. There were, let's see, 48 years, I know. I want to run this quick and remember what the hell it was. Oh, yeah, Ben Kreisman died 48 years and 33 days after Super Bowl 11, which, of course, was played 9,011 days before the 9/11 attacks. Super Bowl 11 played on the 9th day of the year, the earliest Super Bowl in history. $223 is the 48th prime number. So the fact that it's been 48 years since that Super Bowl does stand out. Oh, and of course, with all these 22s, I should have pointed out that Donovan Munger died on February 20th, or 2/20. All right, so I guess that's all I got for this one, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Please do like, share, subscribe. Check the links in the description for more, particularly if you'd like to support the work going forward. Peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to all you beautiful souls next time. See ya.